All right. Thanks everyone for showing up for the Choice Show. This is one of my interviews for a pop up. I've had an interesting conversation with Tanya Alvarez, and she was talking about some of the AI systems that she was building. And then I was talking about Scoop, which is the LinkedIn sales tool that I was building. And I thought it would be an interesting interview. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the share. And I want to introduce everyone to Tanya. She is, uh, I wouldn't say a firecracker. She is someone that's doing some very cool business things and making things happen. So I like that energy. And she is doing things that I'm doing, solving problems. And Tanya, I want to say thanks for joining the show. I know this is a pop up and we just got everything ready. I said, let's just go for it. And last time we were talking a little bit about the software you were building. So before we start with all that, I think everyone knows who I am. I'm like the not so boring LinkedIn guy. I'm kind of the systems nerd guy that builds softwares and systems and drives a business. I am by no means a salesperson, a salesman, but I am a person that builds sales systems. Tanya, let us know a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into the software and why you built that and the problems that you're solving.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Troy. So my background is I started my first company at 25, grew it over 1 million within the first year. And this was back in the day where there wasn't like all this like resources and communities that we have now. So that was an exciting time. And then from there, I invested, sold companies. And what I realized is when I did actually achieve like that first year with over 1 million, I hustled. But then I got opportunities to be in other communities that were over 1 million. And like you have to show your financials to get in. And I
Oh,
realized there's a bunch of like old white brick and mortar, old men, white men, brick and mortar. And I was like this like young Latina, and I was like, I'm doing kind of internet affiliate marketing stuff. And then they're like, what are you doing? And then I realized that they were super connected using resources. There was like less hustling, right? Where I
yeah.
was nonstop. And I was like, holy crap, you get all these access to all these things once you hit 1 million, but less than 10 or 11% of companies hit 1 million. So
Well,
then
can you say that again, Tanya?
10 or 11%. I know for like, I think it's like females, it's less than 7. You had in Latinas, it's less than 3% that hit a
Oh,
million. So
mm,
all these people are starting up companies and they're not hitting 1 million. And there's not that many cool resources. So I was like, you know what? I've been an athlete all my life. Like, I'm an endurance athlete. And I was like, I always loved, even though like even when I was training for the Boston Marathon, I was a collegiate runner. I knew exactly what to do. I still joined a group of people to help me train for this. I'm like, why the heck did I do that starting my own business? It's like that mindset, that accountability, the resource exchange. And I'm like, huh. And that's how I created Owners Up.
I was looking at that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of videos in there saying how Owners Up has convert their business, has given them a level of responsibility and a level of actually wanting to do stuff. I think the one of the biggest issues that I've seen is that a lot of people that are entrepreneurs. I deal with a lot of B2B coaches and consultants and sales and stuff like that. And I'm finding the biggest issue is that the individuals, I don't want to say they lack motivation, but sometimes they lack the ability to connect the dots and have the self motivation to kind of persevere and do the things that need to get done. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because it's overwhelming and it's a lot of different things that you have
No,
to
it's not any
do.
of that. It's basically we were raised in a structured environment. Creatives like always say, oh, I want to have freedom, but structure is actually what allows us to produce results, right? So
Yeah,
if you
that's
go to
true. Yeah.
school, there was a structure. You go to corporate, there was a structure. Now you have freaking all this time to do whatever the F you want. And now you're like doing what won't move your business forward. Maybe you're like, you know, servicing the client, doing the product, but you should be doing sales and marketing. And when you're a small business, it's on you to do all of them. So you default to what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, and I honestly think, and this is kind of bad of me to say, that not everyone's meant to be an entrepreneur. It's not an easy life because at first you have to wear multiple hats, and then as you get more successful, you want to release some of those jobs. So you're doing this, you're doing that, you're face of the company, steering the company. You may have to do some of the actual work for the writing or whatever it is, the sales processes and stuff like that. And so business owners, they tend to want to do what they do well, and so they need structure around that. Sometimes structures are systems, sometimes it's AI, sometimes it's people, sometimes it's accountability. And I don't think everyone realizes that sometimes it's easier to just get a job. And so you want that freedom, but without that discipline, you cannot get that freedom, in most cases. And so please continue, Tanya.
Yeah, so usually what happens, even the best of us, we're just too damn close to our business. So there's so many blind spots. And when you're in a small group of people that you can trust and they're going through the same things, because like even though you have family and friends, they won't understand all the issues you're going through. Like, oh shoot, I have payroll, I have to get this account hasn't got paid. What do I do? All these questions, or
Yeah.
marketing or conversion. You have nobody to bounce ideas off of. And sure, you have AI, but you need to know enough information to prompt it to give you the right information, right?
Yeah, that's true. And then depending on people that aren't true entrepreneurs is like probably not going to help you at all. So what do you tell your sister or your brother or your mother or your father, or someone says, "Yeah, I'm having these things." They said, "Oh, that sounds stupid. Why don't you just go get a gig?" So they don't really get it. They don't understand it. So you have to have a system or even a community to to have those ideas. So I think it's much easier to do this when you have these structures in place, especially the human portion, and as well as you're talking about the AI portion of the systems.
So I think community is crucial and it's so big. I'm involved in a lot of communities and I
Hmm.
barely know anybody. I can say I'm involved in them, but do I really know anybody? Is this my place? So there's this thing called 99.1% rule. And you see it everywhere, classrooms, social media, everywhere. So what I mean by that is 1% is the ones who like ask the questions or, create the content that happens in LinkedIn. 9% are the ones who engage, right? Like, let's say you're in a classroom, that 1% is like, hey, I have the answer. Then the other ones are like, yeah, yeah, yeah. They nod. And then the 90% are lurkers. It's everywhere.
Oh, so you said 99 and 1. Oh, those are three. Okay, I thought you said 99 and 1. I was like, oh, this is new. But the 90 and the 9
So
and
it's
1,
so
that
big.
makes sense just by saying
Yeah.
it that way. I got it.
And so for me in these communities, I'm a lurker. If I have a big business problem, I am not going to go in front of like 100 or 200 people and post my big issue, right? It's just not
Yeah.
like me.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it's
I
too
need a
public. Yeah,
small group that I can trust. And I could like say, okay, they understand and the response. Like in a community, you have no clue if that person actually went through it, right? They
yeah.
might be giving you advice that they learned in a webinar.
They're just like this.
So that's a
Like,
big issue with all these communities and also all these high
so
ticket
you're saying
companies.
they're too broad and they're too large,
Well,
right?
for others, that 1%, it doesn't matter. They're like, yeah, I have this problem. They don't care. They're always
Yeah,
asking a question.
yeah. But for that 9%, yeah. So I get it. So you don't want to, if you have some personal issues or some major business issues, the solution may be something that you want to keep within a small group because you may be putting out a product or disrupting. You never know what it is, but you want to get the peers to be at your level, at your thinking level, the ability to bounce ideas off, the ability to kind of add different angles to potential solutions that you didn't think of. Would that be true to
Yeah,
say?
that's accurate. Like, for example, in Owners Up, we put people in groups of five. And sometimes what they're dealing with is their partner, right? There's a lot of stress at home, and they're like, who do I talk to about my business? Or
Hmm.
they're dealing with family matters, financial, like, oh no, this huge bill, like a client didn't pay something. How am I to deal with everything else? Or it could be the scaling. Like, there's so many things that you would not, at least for me, I don't feel safe putting it out there. There's others who do.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends on their personality and their business, or whatever the problem to solve is. I totally
Yeah,
get
you're right. If it's like, hey, how do I log into YouTube, or I'm having a YouTube, like it's so general
yeah,
that sure you can post it. But I mean like the real big challenges that you
yeah.
actually need to solve for your business.
Yeah, I totally get it. We ran into, I built, so I'm a LinkedIn sale, no, I build sales systems through LinkedIn, a lot of applications, and I've done the Fortune 500 stuff, a lot of projects underneath my belt. And I love creating things that convert and build relationships. And so I created a product that just solved the problem, because I love consulting, but I don't want it to all be my only source of income, because when you're consulting, you're paying exchanging time for money. And I said, I've done thousands of projects already. Why don't I create my own product? And I know that you have a product as well, but on my product, I said on LinkedIn, there's two major areas for improvement, and one was on the content creation, and then one was on the direct messages not converting well. And so we solved a lot of those problems. Tell us about your and that software is called Scoop. But tell us the name of your software, what it does, and why it's unique. Because one thing that you were doing was noticing that these peer groups, or these group coaching or group consulting, or whatever
Yeah,
grouping they.
programs. What ended up happening is, as Owners Up started getting bigger and bigger, I was facilitating those calls, and I was like, shoot, I have two options of scaling. Because I
Okay, the
always
scaling.
wanted to have it small.
Yeah,
Either hire a bunch of coaches and then train them, and training
exactly.
somebody on EQ is so hard, and your profit margins go down, right? Because they can only handle, if that, five groups. So, like, okay, what do you do after that?
And
Or
what's the chances of the person being as good as you? But honestly, like,
you
you're
have to
the
just,
expert at
I'm
what
just
you
telling you the
do.
scaling options. It was a lot of training. The second thing is, I'm on calls all day long. I have a 3 and a 5-year-old. So I was like, shoot, this is before AI came out. So I was like, how do I kind of like have all the calls, have all the structure, have all the content, and then be able to give personalized information? People get to have that kind of group, that intimacy, and they're still held accountable. Then another coaching program was like, you're solving a huge issue. I want to license your software. And I was like, oh, well, it's not ready for license. I'm not licensing it. They're like, let's try it out. And I was like, okay. And I went for it. I was a little hesitant because that wasn't my vision. My vision was to continue kind of doing Owners Up. And so we started Peer Progress. And basically what I found out is all high ticket coaching programs have one problem: retention. See,
Oh yeah,
they,
it's a huge problem.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it's not
you're
that
right.
their content isn't good. It's because, like, you're in this big group, there's Q&A, and in order to serve everybody to be feel seen and heard, there's no way to move everybody unless you have coaches. And
Right,
unless you
or you break it down to smaller units in some way. Yeah,
but then if you don't have
which
a
coaches can
facilitator on
facilitate.
that,
Yeah.
or you don't have something, then the content, you have no clue if, like, there's somebody bashing, like, hey, somebody in the group is bashing your program, and they're like tainting the water. It only takes one person to taint the water.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So if you had a grouping program and 50 people at a time, one bad apple kind of messes everything up. I would imagine, if
Yeah.
they have a bad experience, and a lot of times, um, the bad experience is really what's happened in their personal life. So they just may not. Everyone learns differently, and that's one thing I had to learn very quickly. So why don't you? I was like, why don't you get this? It's like right there. Like I can't think that they don't think the same way I do. Well, they may have a better emotional intelligence. I'm really functional, and so you don't know what's happening in their life. And if they're just not getting something and something didn't work because they misunderstood it, they could totally tear down everyone else. So I could totally see that.
Or someone takes the conversation, so it's like a group of 5 to 8, and this one person rambles the whole 40 minutes, and then the other people are like, they're so kind of like polite that didn't get their turn. There's just so many things that
Oh,
you can't
yeah,
control, so many variables. But
that's true. That's
we're
true.
humans. We all want to be seen, heard. We're pack animals.
Yeah.
So
Well, for the sake of time, so you have peer progress, which is I remember you have an AI component in it. How are you solving the problem of not have to hire a bunch of coaches to grow it, but yet keep the retention together? So how did you solve that?
So, because we're holding everybody accountable every week, we're able to get them the results that they have. And then they have a community. So, people actually stay for the community after they get the results,
Mm,
right? And so now you have all this information because in the groups, we're taking the information from the transcripts and we're running all these AI backend stuff. So we know, hey, Troy had this goal. He's closed this many clients. We have all this information because having somebody say, fill out this form every week, nobody fills out forms anymore. We're in a
I don't
world.
even read anymore, hardly. Yeah, they scan like if it's more than like when I send a LinkedIn message, if it's, I'll put 3 lines of text, like 3 sentences, very short sentences, and I'll do a 30-second video. So they get the gist of it, and if they want to know more, they want to hear it. So
Yeah, if you're
yeah,
asking people to do work, it's kind of like now, even your mail, it's like an automated reply. You look at it real quick, oh, send. Like we're getting to a point where it's like fast and efficient.
yeah.
So in this way, in a group call, you end up getting so much information because people are sharing. And then
Hmm.
we have a human, so there's an AI component to it. And then we have a human following up and like connecting people.
Got it. Got it. So you use an AI in a way to um, disseminate the information where it's tangible for that person and they can take action on those things. And then you can also, it sounds like you can also follow up on the action items. So these are action items. Did you follow up on it? Yes, no. And if they didn't, what happens?
Well, there is a consequence.
Ah, there we go.
So there's an accountability consequence, and we use like this social dynamics. And some people are so annoyed by it, but then if you're annoyed about it, you just follow through in your work. The whole
Right.
thing is to trick your mind to say, oh, I'd rather do this, get my work done, than have to do that consequence that you agreed on.
Yeah. So it's making an agreement. Do you have a DocuSign? They sign
No,
up when they sign. You
we
know
do it
what? I
immediately.
would
They know.
no. I would suggest if they started it, they have to do a DocuSign because the digital signature is one level of saying I'm making commitment, and so it prepares them for the commitment. Regardless of the amount of money. And so
Oh, it's not
coaches.
money. We have them sing.
I'm sorry.
We have them sing
You have them. Oh, sing.
in front of everybody.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you do a DocuSign at the beginning, it's saying this is
You show up
serious.
on the call and I'm like, hey, Troy, you didn't do your commitment. It's time for you to sing.
Do
And you're
you
going
give
to be
them
in
a
front of
script?
everybody.
Do you give them a song that they can, if
Yeah.
they don't know any
And then we
songs?
go to song. It's like you knew the rules. It's everywhere. It's there. You
Oh,
either
hell with that! I'm doing the work.
see what I mean?
I'm not singing a song.
And the reason how I learned this, it was so crazy. My husband worked at GE and he was in a leadership conference, and then some people showed up late. And GE invested so much money in personal development and leadership, and these people were late, so they had to sing "Happy Birthday" in front of everybody. Do you know what happened the next day? Nobody
No,
showed up
no one messed up. That everyone was on par.
because the consequence is the psychology of you're doing it in front of people and it has to be instant. It can't be like, oh, because if it's money, well, I didn't need that $500 anyways.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, because it's such a mental impact. Like, oh my gosh, I'm on. What am I gonna do? Run away? Jump out the window? No, I gotta sing the song. I don't want to sing the song again. So it does make sense. And how much are these? So for coaches and consultants, do you have a price structure for this system that you have?
Yeah. So for the first 50 members, it's about $50. So 2,500, because we basically go into your back end.
I'm sorry,
All
for
the
the first how
course
many members?
50. So
That's really affordable.
2,500
That's
for
really
$50
affordable. Okay. So
$50.
this would be a great tool for any coach or consultant that has group coaching. Well, I guess, well, consultant can have coaching as well. So it's really made for high-end coaches and high-end programs. And
High
the
ticket
minimum
coaching.
buy-in is $50 a month.
$50 per member that you have.
Oh, per member. Okay. And so each time they have that's a better business model because as I have a member,
$50 a month for
paying,
all
they're getting
that?
paid,
No.
and they're paying for you. Okay. But so what is the retention compared to not doing this method? And this is
So
for
the
smaller groups too, right? So the groups
small
of
groups, definitely. We have some groups that are smaller that are under 50 that is already like immediately like the first 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we always ask, like, the members are like, oh my God, this is helping me actually get things done. I get my questions answered. I feel seen. So the retention, the basically the results of them achieving what they signed up for are already high. And then from
okay,
there, because they got the results and they like the community, they want to stay. So the retention goes up.
got it. So what is the typical retention rate if you had to ballpark it for highs and lows?
So high ticket, some people say, oh, it's around 33%.
This is very low. So out of 100, 33. And then with your system, you've seen a bump of how much?
Literally 60, 70%.
Wow. So you're doubling or more than doubling your retention rate, which means it's easier to keep a client
Of
than
course,
to
right?
get a new client. So
Yeah.
you're not just doubling your money, your retention money, you're actually doing more because it takes a lot less time getting new clients because you're keeping those clients as
Mhm.
well. And then how many people are in these programs per group programs on average? So if I was a coach and I wanted to create a program, what would be a good size of number of people to have in my program?
Are you asking how many people that you should have in your groups or like the
Yeah,
cohorts?
yeah, sure. I'm just trying to get an idea of like, should I have 15 people in a group, and then and a few of those per week, or what's the normal setup for
Well,
that?
we put people in groups of 8.
Groups of 8.
Yes. So we put them in cohorts of 8.
Got it. Got it. Well, that's awesome. I know that we're running out of time and you kind of have to drop off. So before I drop off, what I want you to do, Tanya, is when you get a chance to drop your booking link for your CTA and for some people to connect with you or book a time with you. And you can just do it in the comments of the LinkedIn Live. Is there any easier way to get connected with you?
Yeah. Direct message me on LinkedIn.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Any last words of wisdom or any last thoughts before we drop off?
The fastest way to achieve any monumental goal is to find a pack or a group that's already doing what you want to achieve.
That's so true. That's so true. Um, I'll tell you one way of growth for my Scoop application is that this one-on-ones were killing me. They were just this hand-to-hand combat. So many meetings and this one-to-one stuff. And my product is pretty affordable. It's like $47 a month, right? And someone says, oh, it's too expensive. I ask them, how much is one client worth? And because we convert about 6 times better on that. And so I really try to figure a way to maximize the conversion. And then one thing I've done was I noticed, well, there's these other people, the other software people that are creating their new software, their new CRM, and I partner with them. And that way we get group licensing and stuff like that. And so you're absolutely right. When you are grouping with people that are like-minded and heading in that same direction, um, it's so much easier and you get so much more information and you actually network with the right people. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much, Tanya. I know I talk a lot, but I got a lot out of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you.